So in looking at Thomas Hill, there's some other things that he talks about. There's a couple ones that I really want to try out. One is planting with a dibble. So we'll do that here in a little bit, but really this one here is what this one's all about, this video is all about, is if the gardener desires to possess fair and great roots, let him, when the roots be grown to some bigness, pluck away all the leaves, saving two within to grow still, which done, cover the earth often over the heads to grow the sweeter and pleasanter. Yay, so he's talking about picking off some of these leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so there we have, and then a root that has some bigness on it right here. Almost looks like it's split, but it's not. It's just a little root here. And then with that, then we're gonna come and push the dirt up and around it and dig them in. So it's kind of like blanching, and I'm really curious about this. I think it'll be really fun. So here are some of those white icicle radishes, and you can just see how much bigger that they're growing. And with that too, sometimes when you pull them out, oh, not this one, but you can start to see they're getting a little stub shaped here where they're encountering the soil surface. And oftentimes when radishes pop up, it's because you haven't planted the seed deep enough. And I think that's in part what's going on here. So with that, we could also do the hilling up process, but I just ate one of these and they're already starting to turn pithy. So I think they're pretty much done. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this and replant this row using a different technique. And one of the things that I was reading is in 1960 there was some research done, and it showed that if you plant radishes seed 1 inch to 1.5 inches deep, that they'll actually grow bigger and better, and they won't pop out of the soil quite so much. So I'm going to pull all these winter, or these icicle radishes, or at least the bigger size ones, and replant with a deeper seed. And then otherwise I'm just going to continue on and pinch back the leaves of all of these and continue to mound up the soil. So as I've been cleaning up my round German radish bed, there's some that are really tight together, and Hill actually talks about taking these out and transplanting them. I've never heard of transplanting radishes before, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a whirl. I'm probably going to do the smallest one here. It has the best secondary root structure, and so I think that might actually survive the process best. But it's interesting to note to see how they're kind of splitting open this purple initial stem, and then with this one here you can start to see how the black skin radish is starting to form. I kind of took my fingernail and scraped away a little bit there at the bottom, but you can see the difference between the top black. And so to transplant, here's one that I've pinched back and held up, and another one down here, so there's a really nice space right here for one. I'm just going to take my double in a bit. Ooh! That ground is not as soft as I thought it was. That might be a cause for some of my root distortion. So anyway, I'm gonna gently put this one in here, making sure as many of those roots are pointing down as possible. Also want to get it nice down and deep, and then just come back in and hill it up. Oh, I was gonna pinch off some of those leaves. I should do that now. And there's the little guy all planted in and ready for some watering. So I also thinned out this one. Look how big it is. It's starting to, again, split open that purple sheath, and that black radish root is starting to form underneath it. That is really, really cool. I'm excited about that. It's fun to see the development of them like this. All right, going to continue on with this thinning and mounding. It's taking a long time. All right, so there we have it. We have our thinned and hilled radishes. And I went ahead and did them with the daikon radish. They didn't need it as much, but some of these others I'm sure really benefited from it. It was a ton of work. That took much longer than I anticipated, but it looks really pretty now, and the hilling I think is going to work out well. It was great. I could get in there. I could really do a nice thorough weeding, and so I'm going to go ahead and then mulch it in. It looks a little bit of a mess. There's one big pile of leaves that I took off, and another big pile of leaves, so those will soon go to the chickens to hopefully feed them. Boy, I'm tired. So then, and then this bed here, that is, or row, is where those icicle radishes are. They're all now piled up here and soon to become lunch for a while. And then yeah, I planted these seeds much deeper, so hopefully it'll avoid the poking out of the ground. And we shall see. So next step then is to also put in some hay in between, straw in between the rows, just to give it a little bit of mulch. And that's something that Thomas Hill does mention, is to mulch your radishes. So these should pretty much be done until the winter. So they're just going to continue to grow. I don't know what shape they're going to turn into, and hopefully longer than rounder. And then come November or so, I'll start pulling them out of the ground and using them for a winter food source.